Hello everyone, my name is Bradley and I am looking today to join a super secret society. If you have a society that you would like to invite me to, feel free to queue up just in front of me here and I will take a look around, see what's up, ask you some questions, and then at the end, there's 4 of you here. I will pick one of your societies to join. You will have gained a new member, I will have made some new friends. It's going to be awesome. Alright, so who would like to be up first?
Hello, Bradley. I am Vladimir, lead vampire of the Sanguine pact.
All right. Hi, Vladimir. How are you? What is your society about? What do you guys like? What would I be getting myself into here?
We like building castles and murder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that seems a bit intense for me. What does all this do? Why are you doing it?
The blood of our enemies makes us stronger.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's something I can buy into. What about this castle stuff? How do the castles work?
They make your capital the best city in the world.
All right, I'm sold. There are still 3 other people here that I need to talk to, but great presentation. Really loved it. Sanguine Pact. All right, feels good. Definitely something I consider joining. Let's move on to the next one.
Hoot, hoot.
Hi, hello. Are you an owl?
Yes?
All right, yep, no worries. Not gonna lie, took me off guard a little bit, but I'm so excited to hear about your secret society. Why don't you start off with just what's your name, where are you from? Let's get to know each other a little bit.
Minerva.
Wait, so is that your name or where you're from, or is it both?
Minerva.
Wait, so you're named after the place you were born?
Hoot.
Okay, that's a little strange. It's a little bit strange, not gonna lie. It's kind of like choosing your own nickname, just a little bit weird. Anyways, why don't you tell me about your secret society? What's it all about? What am I getting into here?
Policy cards, trade routes, and envoys. We like all 3 of those things passionately. Hoot, hoot.
All right, all 3 things I could get behind. Thank you so much for that presentation. I'm so ready to join your secret society. There's just 2 people left for me to chat with, but I'll get back to you by the end of the day. Hello, I am the Void Singer. All right, love the attitude, Mr. Void Singer. What is your secret society all about? I'm a godly man. I pray a lot and I would like to give you all my faith. Faith? You know what? I like faith as well. That's perfect. Faith can be really, really useful in a secret society. That's awesome. Is there anything else you like? I'm also a fan of obelisks of the old god variety. Hidden underneath those obelisks is a place for you to put your artwork, because why not? Okay, you know what? You're selling me a little bit. Is there anything else I should know about you? When I reach my final form, I like to go from city to city, send my minions out and turn their population against them till the city rebels. Then there's lots of murder, then you take it over. Okay. We're stopping that. We're stopping. I'm sold. We're gonna stop at the murder. All right, I got one more person to talk to. Your secret society is great. It's gonna be awesome. There's just one more person left. Wow, 3 good secret societies. I'm excited. So many options. There's one left. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Hi, I'm Hermy of the Hermetic Order. Hi, Hermy. Hi. Okay, fair enough. Hermetic Order. What is your secret society all about? What do I get out of joining? Well, you see, I really like putting these things on the ground called ley lines, and once the ley lines are on the ground, they do kind of get in the way a little bit. They're kind of really annoying, but sometimes when you put things next to them, those things can be a little bit better. All right, fair enough, Hermy. So is there any way for me to know where the ley lines are gonna go, right? So I'm you know what, I'm joining your secret society. I want to make use of the ley lines. Will they always be available to me? Oh, not a chance, dude. Not a chance at all. Sometimes you're going to have 3 really good ley lines just right in the middle of exactly where you want them. Sometimes I build them right in the middle of 18 mountains and you can't use them at all. And other times I just get really nostalgic for the tundra life and put them all in the snow. You can barely even see them up there, dude. Okay, so what you're telling me is if I pick your secret society, I may end up hating my decision forever and ever, or it might be just as good as the other secret societies, even when it's performing at its best. You know what? When you put it like that, yeah, that's pretty close. All right, I hope you enjoyed that intro, everyone. That was a lot of fun to do. A few weeks ago on YouTube, I got a comment that I could not refine, so I apologize that it's not popping up on the screen right now. I had someone comment on one of my videos like, hey, I always choose Hermetic Order, and you spent 7 videos dunking on Hermetic Order. Can you go through the secret societies and explain why you don't like Hermetic Order, or just kind of rank them, or just kind of talk about them? And I thought, you know what? That sounds like a great idea for a YouTube video, so here we are. Before we get started, just a reminder that we have a Twitch stream that you should all check out. 2.2 thousand of you have already checked it out. We play Civ all the time. We play a little Football Manager as well. Basically, it's where we all hang out and chat a few times a week. We've got the AIPL going on if you want to see who the best AI in the game is. We run that on twitch.tv/VanBradley, so make sure you go to the description below, check the link out, hit that follow button, just generally come and hang out with everyone when we stream Civ a few times a week. Back to secret societies now. It is no secret that I really enjoy 3 of the 4 secret societies, and I really have a hard time enjoying 1 of the 4 secret societies. And let's just chat about it and talk through what we're thinking here. If you guys would like to throw your opinions on secret societies in the comments below, I would love to see where we differ on opinions on the secret societies. I would also love someone to write a staunch defense of Hermetic Order, because I'm not going to do that in this video. And mostly it's great for people to hear my opinions, scroll down to the comments, see your opinions, and then they can form their own opinions and everything works out great. Let us start with Void Singers. Melody is the first Void Singers little title you can get. If you guys aren't familiar with secret societies at all, I'm assuming you are. You can pick one, you can level it up just like you would a governor, and it gives you special abilities and all that. In this game, we went for Owls of Minerva. The first unlock you can get with Void Singers, though, is Melody, unlocked by discovering a tribal village. We'll talk a little bit about how you unlock the secret societies. That's not most of what this video is about. I find that most games I want Void Singers, I can get it, although there isn't a 100% chance every time you do find a tribal village, so sometimes it can be a little bit tricky if you've discovered all the tribal villages in your area and have none left and you can't quite get into Void Singers here. We have had a few games where we've done like 200 turn runs around the map just to get Void Singers. Basically what it does right away though is allows you to construct the old god obelisk building, a powerful replacement of the monument. The old god obelisk is a great kickstarter to almost any culture game. Unique to the Void Singers replaces the monument, contains 1 great work slot, so that 1 great work slot can hold any type of great work. You have 10 cities or so, you have 10 old god obelisks. That's 10 extra great works you can buy from the AI. You can use great people. Obviously super great for a culture victory. Provides +1 loyalty per turn to the city. That's just normal monument stuff. If the city already has maximum loyalty, also provides +1 culture. That is also great. The one thing that the old god obelisk does for you that's really, really nice is it gives you faith. For faith early on, really great for getting that monumentality golden age, so you can buy settlers and builders with faith. If you hit the point of the game where you have 3 or 4 cities, 3 or 4 old god obelisks, you have the amount of faith you need to use monumentality effectively, so it's really good. Now, once you've gone into Void Singers, you've used your old god obelisk, we are moving on to Chorus. Remember how I said that the old god obelisk gives you faith? Well, you're gonna really appreciate the faith anywhere you can get it. This is unlocked in the medieval era. Chorus. Cities earn gold, science, and culture per turn equal to 20% of their faith per turn rate. Now, 20% of the faith per turn might not sound like a lot, but the fact that it applies to all of your other yields is fantastic, except for production, I guess. But what this really does for you is it unlocks a way to get yields that you might not have in all cities, right? There are only so many ways to get science, so many ways to get culture, so many ways to get gold, that if you want to boost any of these things or all 3 of them at the same time, you can build a holy site, jack up that faith a little higher. Maybe you'll use that faith for rock bands or naturalists or monumentality. Maybe you'll use it to buy units with the government plaza building. But what I am trying to say here, though, is this is just a super effective way to give you science, gold, and culture. And as you go up the difficulties, those are the things you are going to need to catch up to the AI. So even just using the old god obelisk faith can be really handy just to get a little bit closer to the AI. So Chorus is a fantastic ability. I really A+ enjoy it every time I get to use it. Canticle comes in the industrial era. This one is hit or miss for me. It unlocks the cultists. The cultists you can purchase with faith. They go around. You can use them to flip loyalty in other cities nearby, so you can kind of loyalty flip them to your control. This has to be done with a city that's already losing loyalty, so it's really, really hard to flip. I haven't found the cultists very useful for actually flipping cities, but what they do really, really well is they give you relics after all their charges are gone. Relics are very, very hard to find in the game often, and the fact that you can just buy a whole bunch, you have your old god obelisk that gives you enough faith to buy all these cultists, and then the cultists, once you use them, even if you're not using them to loyalty flip a city, just the fact that you're using them at all gives you relics which fill up the old god obelisk slots, the great work slots that hold anything that we talked about earlier. So basically you have a free way to fill up all of those slots from the old god obelisk that gives you loads of culture, some tourism. It's fantastic. I love it. It's amazing. It all synergizes so well. Just really, really, really effective. And then finally, Symphony. By the time this comes around, I'm usually winning my game, so I don't like to play around with this too much. But the Dark Summoning is an interesting project. It can make your loyalty flips with your cultists a little better. Overall, I don't really use this too much. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is it does give you a lot of faith while active, and that faith is used with Chorus. So running Symphony will give you some gold, some science, and some culture as well. So it's not even completely useless, even if you're not using the cultist boost that it gives you. All that being said, with the Void Singer's fantastic pick in most games, you know, even if it's not functioning super well, it's still nice to have around. So it's never really a terrible pick, even though sometimes it can be way better than others. Usually one of my go-to picks in a culture game. All of the synergies are fantastic. Would highly recommend you checking out Void Singers more if you haven't already, especially in a culture game. Do something fun. Pick something like Eleanor would be awesome with this. Grab Void Singers, stack up on those great works, loyalty flip some cities, use your cultists. Oh my god, Eleanor and Void Singers would be incredible. I would advise you to try that out if you haven't already. The Sanguine Pact is next, and this is where we get our vampires, and boy am I excited for these. You unlock the ability to join the Sanguine Pact by destroying our barbarian camp. Now, barbarian camps do respawn. Again, like Void Singers, sometimes I'll have trouble joining the Sanguine Pact, but mostly I think it's fine. Destroying barb camps is something you're doing anyway early on for the era score, the gold, and all of that stuff. So I don't find that most games that I want to join vampires, I don't find that it's completely unavailable for me to join. Sometimes it does take a little work to get into, though. The first thing it does is grant a vampire unit in your capital. So let's talk about vampires. They're a key centerpiece to your use of the Sanguine Pact. Vampire units are units that start out fairly weak. You're going to need them to build vampire castles later, which is the main reason to go for Sanguine Pact. But what vampires can do, especially in a domination game or early on in your games, if you have lots of barbs, someone's just rushed and attack you, the vampires get stronger for every unit they kill or every unit that gets killed adjacent to them. So there's lots of opportunities if you're at war quite a bit to make your vampires really, really strong. So I really do find the vampires to be fairly effective combat units in the game. They can be quite slow to move around. You have to kind of know ahead of time where you're moving them. They don't have the highest movement ever, only 2 movement points, but they can be very effective because they scale with the game as long as you're using them effectively. Another thing to note here too is the base combat strength is equal to the strongest unit your cities have produced. So later in the game, once you're getting your 3rd vampire, it doesn't start all the way down at lowest melee strength. It'll start out a little bit higher. So every vampire you get is starting at a reasonable level for where you are in the game. So getting later vampires doesn't mean you have to start from the beginning. They start a little more superpowered compared to your early vampires to kind of level things out a little bit. Vampires mostly heal by pillaging, so they do heal by just putting them in your cities or leaving them out and just letting them heal like normal units. It does take a little bit longer, but every time you pillage with them, they heal up, making them very effective like Wukong units going into enemy territory as well, which is very, very exciting. And what's cool about the vampires is they can't really die. As soon as their HP goes to 0, they just get sent back to a city center. You still get to keep the vampire, even if you have to wait for it to heal up again. So the vampires are just super fun to have around. Really enjoy them. Getting into the medieval era, we have Rising Hunger. This is gonna grant you not 1, but 2. Well, it's gonna grant you your 2nd vampire. It doesn't grant you 2. It grants you another one. Now you have 2 vampires on the map. This one's going to start a little more superpowered than your first one, which is awesome. It allows your vampires to construct vampire castles. Now, here we go, baby. This is the best. Vampire castles are useful in literally every game of Civ. Every game of Civ, vampire castles are amazing. Can be built in player-owned and neutral territory by a vampire. So you can build this castle in area you own, obviously, or area that's neutral. You can't build it in enemy territory, but any neutral tile that's cleared out can be used for a vampire castle, which is awesome. Gives you fortification to units on the tile. Boo, who cares? That's not why we're building this thing, but I guess, like, cool, you know? What the vampire castle does, though, it duplicates all the yields around it. Let's see if we can put a picture of a vampire castle up on screen. I don't know if I'll find that or if Onvars will find that. Someone will find a picture of a vampire castle to show you what it does. But it takes the yields from all the hexagons around the vampire castle and it puts them all in the middle tile and sends those yields to your capital. So the middle tile that has a lot of yields, it can't be worked by the city it's in or wherever it is, but all those yields are going straight to your capital. And guess what? You are going to be able to build multiple vampire castles in a game, and all of that gets added. I've had vampire castles. If you're taking the yields of a couple lumber mills and a couple mines and stuff around it, you're getting like 12 to 15 production, 12 to 15 food, a little bit of gold, sometimes a little bit of science, and that's all going to the capital. So with vampire castles, you end up with a supercharged capital city. This is most useful in a space race. You have one city. With vampire castles, your capital city can pump out the Earth satellite and the moon landing and all of those other things in record time. Vampire castles are amazing. You could pick Sanguine Pact in every game and it never, ever feels bad. I've never picked Sanguine Pact and gone, man, that was the wrong choice. I hate this game. I hate myself. I don't know why I'm going to uninstall this game. I am now learning that the next thing in the vampire tree is called Voivode. Okay, I want you to put in the comments whether you knew the third tier of Sanguine Pact was called Voivode, because you did not. Anyways, unlocked in the industrial era grants you your third vampire. Hell yeah. And all this time, your vampires are going around killing things, blood, murder, getting stronger. All of that stuff is fun. It increases your maximum vampire castle builds to 3. Not only do you get one superpowered vampire castle sending a bunch of yields to your capital, now you get 3 of these things, and all of those are additive. Putting another vampire castle down does not take away from the third or from the first one. So you're just gonna get another vampire castle that's sending 12 to 15 production, 12 to 15 food, all the other fun stuff right to your capital, and that's just going to add right on. You see where this is going with 3 vampire castles. Your capital can produce like anything in 1 to 5 turns. It's incredible. Vampires at this point also intimidate the enemy units. Not something I really care about too much, but super useful in a domination game. Also, think about this. You're in a domination game. You're not even going for a space race. Your capital can build any unit in like 1 to 5 turns. Get yourself an encampment, level that sucker all the way up, get those armies pumping out at max turn limit production. I don't know what I'm saying other than you can build like an entire army in 10 seconds with these things. They're amazing. Pillaging now only costs vampires 1 unit as well. So you know what? Easier to heal, fantastic. We like healing vampires quickly. It's kind of what we do. Then in the Atomic Era, we have Endless Night. I don't spend too much of my time in the Atomic Era, but it grants you a 4th vampire unit. So now you got all these freaking things running around. It increases your maximum vampire castle builds to 4, which is absolutely nuts. Your capital is just getting even stronger than it already was. Units within 1 tile of your vampire castles may now airlift to any other tile near one of your vampire castles. So not only can you now use your vampire castles automatically to just shove so much stuff to your capital, you can now like teleport your vampires. I'm not joking. Civilization 6 has a teleport vampire feature, which is awesome. Now that we've gone through that, all I have to say about the Sanguine Pact is you can pick it in every single game and it never feels terrible. In fact, it always feels just amazing. If I had to pick one secret society to just have forever and ever and I could never pick anything else, Vampires and Owls of Minerva are 2 great picks. We're going to talk about them. Void Singers has the high ceiling, but is a little more specific. Although it doesn't really have a low floor, it's always good. Vampire, Sanguine Pact, Castles, the high ceiling, super high floor. It's never bad. It's always great. Go for it. Pick Sanguine Pact. Hang out with, what did I say, Vladimir? He's a cool guy. Owls of Minerva, we got envoys, we got city-states, we got trade routes, we got owls, and we've got Minerva. Hell yeah. Fun fact, McGonagall's name in Harry Potter, her first name is Minerva. Minerva McGonagall. Just a cool little Harry Potter reference I like to bring up in the middle of YouTube videos for no reason. Anyways, Owls of Minerva, something that always feels great, because if you're at war, you lose the trade route benefit, but keep the policy card benefit. If you're not just at complete war with everyone, you get all the benefits. Either way, you're getting benefits that are amazing. Let's talk about them all. This one's unlocked by sending an envoy to a city-state, something you do dozens of times a game at minimum. So easily the easiest secret society to join in a reasonable amount of time. Owls of Minerva will always be available to you in a good amount of time, which is awesome. Gives you +1 economic policy card slot. This is already so valuable. You know how much at any point in the game an extra economic policy slot is so valuable? Already just picking Owls of Minerva is already giving you so much value with that economic policy slot. It's already, no matter what, an amazing pick. Look at all these policy cards. Look at them. Take a good look at all these yellow suckers and all of the good stuff they do for you. Imagine just getting an extra one of these for no reason other than you just picked a fun secret society. This is so effective. It's just so good. It's just so good. So good. All right, we're calmed down a bit now. I'm just having so much fun recording this video. That intro really got me on a roll. Each trade route you send to a city-state awards 1 envoy there. What does this mean? It means by the end of the game, you can pretty much, as long as you're not at total war with everyone and people are just pillaging your trade routes left and right everywhere, pretty much what this means is you can pick any city-state that you want, especially if they're nearby you, especially if they're one of the closer ones that you meet right away, and you can just seize them up for free. Trade routes are already so valuable. In every game of Civ, you're going to be building multiple harbors or commercial hubs, and you'll have multiple trade routes on the go that you can keep sending to city-states. And with a recent change, Whistlebankin and the democracy kind of ability in the government that gives you more food and more production to your allies, also gives you that food and production to city-states you're seized with. So at the mid to end game there, you're not even missing out on anything, because they're going to give you the gold for trading with the city-state that you're looking for in a trade route. It's going to give you the envoy, which is awesome, but it's also going to give you, by the end of the game, food and production to all the cities, or to food and production for every trade route you are trading with a city-state, which is awesome. It's incredible. But also, you kind of end up getting the internal trade route benefits and the external trade route benefits together. So it's just very, very functional and awesome. We just are on the first one. We are on the first one still. Moving on to Ritual. Unlocked in the medieval era, allows you to construct the Gilded Vault building. It's pretty much a version of the bank that gives you culture. This is very, very helpful. There are a lot of games where I have built commercial hubs with Gilded Vaults instead of theater squares. Of course, without theater squares, you miss out on the great person points that you would get for great writers and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not a full replacement, but it can help you in your games get a little bit of culture. If you can't quite commit to theater squares, you don't have any good theater squares on the map yet to place down. So this is just a very, very nice second ability to kind of synergize with everything else that's going on. Keep in mind, not as great if you're playing on like an archipelago though and you have lots of harbors. It doesn't replace the lighthouse or whatever, just or not the lighthouse, the shipyard. That's the second one. The shipyard, I think, is the second one. It doesn't replace that. It only replaces the bank and the commercial hub. Still though, in most games, I end up with a couple of commercial hubs. Fantastic. We love the Gilded Vault. The official VB rating of the Gilded Vault is a thumbs up. You know, we're gonna give it 2 thumbs up. That's better. This is where things get wild with Owls of Minerva. Unlocked in the industrial era, +1 wild card policy card slot. So now, not only are you getting your one incredible yellow economic policy card for pretty much the whole game, about halfway through the game, you are getting to pick for the rest of the game any card you want to put in. There is so much value to being able to always pick one extra card from any color to put in. It's just, there's no, you can, like, this is where you can pick this every game, no matter how bad it is with the trade routes, the envoys, the gilded vaults, anything else. You can just pick Owls of Minerva and know that for 2 governor titles, you are getting 1 extra economic card slot and 1 wild card policy slot, which is ridiculously efficient for 2 governor titles. It's incredible. +2 spy capacity, which is nice. Spy capacity can be hard to come by at this point in the game, and it kind of levels up relatively slowly. But the main thing here with the spy is a little underutilized ability, but I've been using it a few times recently. Your cities gain +4 loyalty per turn and 1 amenity when your spy is in their territory. So if you have spies counter spying in your own territory, you're getting some extra boosts here. Can be really, really effective for loyalty. If you're hitting a Dark Age or something, just chuck a spy in that city and you're getting that 4 loyalty as well. I think I tested this, and I want to say that your spy, it's not like governors where you just put them in. Your spy has to actually establish themselves in the city. You can't just move them 1 turn after the other to get the loyalty. You have to let them settle in a little bit, but they get there eventually, and it's a good little ability. And then finally, Master Plan. We most recently used this to get to 1 million gold in this Portugal game. Holy, where we have the 1 million gold right here. Unlocked in the Atomic Era, every turn you earn 3% of the gold in your treasury as income. Whenever an offensive spy mission is successful, you also gain half the science, culture, gold, and faith that the targeted city earned that turn. So you know what? More spy stuff. It's giving you an offensive spy ability to match with your defensive spy ability with the loyalty, and so you're getting a little bit of best of both worlds. The main thing here, though, is that you earn 3% of the gold in your treasury as income, so you can kind of just keep stuff in your treasury and get some little investment money, some dividends rolling in there. It's important to note, and I didn't know this before we tried for 1 million gold, it does cap out of the 1,000 gold. So once you have about 33,000 gold or whatever the math is, I'm bad at math. Once you have like 30,000 or more gold, somewhere in that range, it stops giving you more gold per turn, but it maxes out at 1,000 extra per turn, which is still, you know what? It's just fantastic. It's awesome. We love it. Like I mentioned, Owl of Minerva, you can never go wrong. Pick it every game. At the very least, you're getting 2 very efficient policy card slots to use for the whole game, which is awesome. The wildcard one comes in about halfway through, so you still get lots of value for the back half of the game. And it's best case scenario, you're choosing all the city-states you want. You're getting lots of culture from the Gilded Vaults. It's just always a good pick. So far, I have like A and B picks that you can pick every single game. It'll be amazing. Are the first 2 Sanguine Pact, or not the first, but Sanguine Pact and Owls of Minerva 1 and 2. You can pick them every game and they're incredible. You can pick Void Singers every game and it'll feel good. Does have a little bit of a lower floor to match the higher ceiling, whereas the Sanguine Pact and the Owls of Minerva, the floor is a little bit higher. But anyways, you can pick any of these 3 and it'll feel good. I would recommend Sanguine Pact or Owls of Minerva. Pick any one of those 2 if you're struggling in a game. Both will be amazing. Then we have, unfortunately, the Hermetic Order. Now look, before we dunk on the Hermetic Order, it's a great idea. And its ceiling, just like the other secret societies, is really high. If you can get Hermetic Order to work for you, it is great. The problem with Hermetic Order fundamentally is the floor is just never ending. There's a never ending floor to this thing. Like it's never ending. It starts here where everyone else, like the cap is at the top where everyone else is, and the floor just keeps going down. And you think it's gonna and just keeps going. And then you think, oh, this is the worst Hermetic Order I've ever. Nope, there's a worse one. No, oh, I go to the Reddit Civilization. It gets worse and like it just, the floor, it's bottomless. It's like going to KFC and getting like a bottomless popcorn chicken bucket. And then you reach the end and it turns out there was a bottom and there's no more popcorn chicken and you just feel disappointed. Anyways, unlocked by discovering a natural wonder, reveals the leyline resource on the map. Leylines give a major adjacency bonus to all specialty districts. Leylines are a fantastic idea. One of the things I like to do with leylines when I do pick Hermetic Orders, I actually like to settle on them, right? So you can settle on the leylines, that way you're not getting in the way. That way you're using your capital as one of the 2 districts, or whether you're using your city center as one of the 2 districts for that +1 that you get for all your districts being close to each other, but you're also getting the +2 from the ley line underneath. Very, very easy way to guarantee +3 of all of your districts if you're settling on ley lines. The fundamental problem with these ley lines, though, is they are completely random. They could appear anywhere. Firaxis has patched this a little bit to make them a little more reliable. The problem is, no matter how reliable you make them, there's still an element of randomness to it. You can get a bunch of ley lines together for a bunch of superpowered +9 or whatever districts. You can get a bunch of ley lines just next to mountains or off in the tundra that'll do absolutely nothing for you. And it's not that Hermetic Order is bad, it's just that it's random. And when I know I have at least 2 other picks that are always S tier, Sanguine Pact and Owls of Minerva are always great, they're always valuable, I know exactly what I'm getting from them at a minimum. I don't know what I'm getting out of Hermetic Order when I pick it, which can add an element of fun to the game, it can add an element of surprise, of difficulty, but what it doesn't satisfy that need. There's no reason to pick this, because even if I get the best roll of Hermetic Order, it's going to be just as valuable as these 2, and these 2 are always that valuable, so I can just pick one of these 2, get extreme value out of them, and not even run the risk of getting the bad RNG roll on the ley lines. Believe it or not, though, with Hermetic Order, there are other things to talk about. And look, if you like picking Hermetic Order, keep picking it. It is fun, it is exciting, it is different, it is random, it adds that element of surprise. It is not bad. It's just not as good as the other 3. And I think there needs to be that distinction there. I like dunking on it as a joke. It's not a bad pick, it's just not as good of a pick as the other 3, but let's talk about some of the other things that it does do. Unlocked in the Medieval Era allows you to construct the Alchemical Society, a powerful replacement to the University. The Alchemical Society gives you gold equal to its science adjacency bonus. So the idea here with this synergy is you have your ley lines, you put your campus next to your ley lines. That's a really good high adjacency campus, and once you build the Alchemical Society, it's going to give you a little bit of gold. And you know what? The Alchemical Societies are fantastic. My issue with these, though, is the thing you're getting extra is gold, whereas with the bank replacement, I can't remember what, Gilded Vault, with the Gilded Vault replacement, what you're getting is culture, and culture's harder to come by than gold. There are lots of ways to get gold. There are a little less convenient ways sometimes to get culture, and so I still, for this reason, it's good. Well, you're getting free stuff here, so it's not a bad pick. I just find it's not quite as good as the culture you're getting from the other replacement in the Owls of Minerva, but hey, you know what? This is still great. I still like this. Things get really interesting here, and this can be really, really fun. You'll see the AI work with this sometimes. Be like, how does that tile have 12 science? Well, this is unlocked in the Industrial Era. Magoose. For every great person earned, ley lines receive +1 yield equal to that great person's district type. Great admirals and great generals earn +1 science. So if you're on a great person spree and you keep getting great scientists, great writers, great merchants, all of that fun stuff, those yields keep getting added to your ley line tiles. And so your ley line tiles by the end of the game are giving you a lot of good and varied yields, which is exciting and it's fun and it's great and I enjoy them, and I have nothing bad to say about Magoose because Magoose is awesome, and having these ley line tiles be awesome is just super fun. I don't think I've ever gotten to AWAS here, but it's unlocked in the Atomic Era. Unlocks Occult Research, a city project that provides gold while active, so that's fantastic. Gold while active is great. When completed, it grants great people points and science for every ley line in the city. So this isn't something you're going to work on in every city. It's going to be something you work on in the cities that have ley lines. Anytime that you have to limit where you're working this, it can be really inconvenient. What if the city with ley lines is also the city you're building your space race stuff in? Then do you really want to run the occult research projects? There's a little bit of a complication there. Mostly occult research is fine. I hope me kind of talking through the secret societies was helpful for all of you guys leaving YouTube comments about the secret societies. Just like, hey, I always pick this, but I'm not really sure why. Which ones are the best? Which one should I be picking? And I want to be clear. I think Sanguine Pact and Owls of Minerva are pickable every single game of Civ and feel really great and are giving you lots of value, and you'll never regret picking them. I think Void Singers does a really good job at what it does. Even in a game where it's not ideal, it's still giving you that faith value and that great work slot value that I think is still there. Hermetic Order, I want to be clear, all you're getting is free stuff. It is not a bad pick. It is better than not having Hermetic Order every game. Its ceiling, though, is barely as high as everything else if you get it amazing, but it has the highest potential of going wrong. Right? It has the biggest gap between the ceiling and the floor, and with that element of RNG involved, I get enough RNG in my life with the rock bands, so I don't want to give anyone the impression that Hermetic Order is actually something that's bad to pick. It's certainly not as efficient or not as good as the other 3 to pick on a regular basis, but it does have that element to being fun, exciting, random, different. You know, it's not something people are picking often, so it's something that you can pick to be kind of cool and hip with the times. And so I encourage you, if you enjoy playing with Hermetic Order, keep enjoying Hermetic Order. Don't let me dissuade you from picking it just because I don't think it's quite as good as the other secret societies. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this video. Feel free to leave us more YouTube comments, what you think about the video, what your opinions on secret societies are, your passionate thesis statement on why Hermetic Order is the best secret society, but also give us some more video ideas in the description below or in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. That's where I got this video idea from. If you are enjoying this video, or if you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe button. You know you want to do it, just click them, it's free. But also check the Twitch stream out, check the Discord out. We all hang out. There's like 350 Civ fans in there. It's awesome. I think that's it. There's a live channel. There's just stuff in the description. Go check it out. Make sure you say thank you to Onvars in the comments below. Thank you, Onvars. You're the best. We love you. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks so much, everyone. Hello, I am the Void Singer.